Yo, what's good, guys? Inswain with Inswain Audio. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe and join the family because I'm dropping tutorials, tips, tricks, you name it, anything related to audio and audio engineering every single day. There's not many doing it like this. Anyways, today I'm going to show you a philosophy for mixing that's going to make your vocal mixes, and really anything for that matter, but definitely vocals, a lot cleaner. Let's go. Alright, so we're going to take a look at this little clip from a Mix with the Masters video featuring Alangelo. In this case, he's talking about mixing vocals for Post Malone, and he gives a gem that we're going to watch, we're going to learn from it, and then I'm going to expand on it. So let's check that out.
Let's quickly jump to the lead vocal, and I want to break down and explain some of the effects and how they relate to the dry signal and how we can get it to sit in a way where it can still be competitive and you still have the effects and they're still understandable, but they're still there. I want to kind of explain maybe a little bit of philosophy that I have regarding that I think might be helpful. So the first thing, and to me I think this is really the answer to it, is if you have your dry signal processed in a good way and you have it, cleaned up, you have it compressed, you have it gated, you have it tuned, you have everything sounding just the way you want, where you feel happy about it. Once you have that and it's established and you have a really strong foundation, then you can add any effects you want after that and it's going to be much better. The problem that I notice sometimes is that people will be putting a lot of effects on things that it's not ready to be put effects on yet. And what happens when you do that, then you're echoing that mess, or you're echoing those mistakes all throughout all of the effects. You're echoing it through the delays, the reverbs, and everything. So you have to make sure that your dry signal is perfect. And what perfect, there is no gauge of perfect. It's really just whatever you feel is best. Once you got that, then when you start applying the effects, you start applying the slap delays, or the reverbs, or the rooms, or you start adding parallel compression, or you start adding a doubler, because now your foundation is so solid, those inconsistencies or those things that were in the dry signal are gone. It sounds really simple. It sounds obvious, but I have to explain this to you guys because it's a big part of what I do.
All right, so what we can take away from what he said is he's kind of breaking his mixing down into two broad stages. The first stage is like vocal cleanup, right? Tuning, gating, compressing. He's getting a solid foundation, as he said. He's removing any bad things that he doesn't want. And the reason for this is because how he says later on when you start adding effects, whether it's reverb, delays, doublers, any of that, those are then also going to sound clean. And the reverse of this is if you didn't work like this, let's say you had bad frequencies in the vocal, like harshness, like sibilance, right? If it's not DS, there's sibilance. When you add all of your effects to sends, because he didn't mention this, but he's assuming that's how you work. When you start adding reverb sends and delay sends, but you didn't DS the vocal properly, that sibilance is making its way into that reverb send. So now you have a reverb that's probably too bright and distracting. It's making its way into those delay sends. So now the delays have that sibilance in it, and it's going to be distracting and take away from the lead vocal and might clutter up your mix. It's going to make it into the doubler, sound very weird and, distracting. It's going to make it into all these effects. And that's just one example of sibilance. It could also be a muddy frequency or a resonant, weird tone, honkiness in the mid-range. Anything like this, and it's not just frequencies. It could also be a lack of compression, or if something's out of tune, right? Let's say you didn't tune the vocal. There's a note that's out of tune. That out of tuned note is then getting reverb. So then the reverb is out of tune. It's then getting echoed. And now you have a note out of tune with repetitions after it that are also all out of tune. Or anything like that. So that's why you want to get your solid foundation, like he says, that mix dialed in. So then when you start adding sends and effects, those are also just as dialed in, and you're just adding on top of it. It's like the cherry on top, but you need a solid foundation first. You don't want to put a cherry on top of something disgusting. You put it on top of ice cream because it's good, right? And the same thing applies for mixing. So I think there's like you said, it's kind of simple, but it's gold, because if you don't understand how the routing and the signal flow works within a DAW, you might not even consider this, or you might be doing it in the wrong order. Now, sometimes you can DS on your sends. Like, let's say you like a little bit of sibilance in your vocal, but then when you add a reverb send, the reverb is too bright and sibilant, so you need to DS just the reverb. That's why you use a send, because then you can do that. But it's always best to tackle the problems at the source and get it nice, and then all of your sends will play along with it. And of course, you can get creative, and like I said, you can leave some sibilance and then take it out of just the reverb, but leave it in the delay, or take it out of the delay, leave it in the reverb, so you get, sharp, attacky, bright reverbs, whatever you want to do. It's just about understanding the order of operations within the DAW and the most efficient and straightforward way to get there. Because not only is it going to make your mix cleaner sounding, your projects are going to look cleaner and be easier to navigate, and it's just going to be less stressful for you, and it's going to save you time. And let's be honest, we could all use more time. Anyways, guys, I hope you took something from that. Maybe it sparked something. That's what I'm really trying to do with these videos is, yeah, there might be one specific example I talk about, but I'm really trying to speak broadly. So, like, even if you already understand this or you don't resonate with exactly what I'm saying, it's going to spark an idea like, okay, like, I don't really mesh with that, but that makes me think of this, which I would like to do, or this, right? And you could take it anywhere. So I'm trying to give you short, concise videos that you can think about and apply to any level of mixing or any type of mixing. Anyways, that's enough for today, man. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Wait, InSwain with InSwain Audio, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. I almost forgot. You guys almost got away. Anyways, guys, I love you. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.